Who teaches dentists how to be more successful, decrease stress, and most of all, figure out how to make the number one KPI in their dental life work? And that number one KPI is to reduce the number of times they feel like crying inside a day. More important than EBITDA and bicep curls. We're going to have Dr. Alan Stern on. He is a plank expert soon. But Talking Nachos is dedicated to helping you feel less like this on the inside part of your body. That's where dentists have to keep their crying, because nobody wants to see a dentist cry in the operatory. But at Talking Nachos, we have your dentisting back, and we interview amazing key resources and sponsors that help you live your best dentisting life, help you do the three things we stand for at Dental Nachos: learn, laugh, and feel less alone. One of the things that I love, and even though we have a huge Facebook community, is face-to-face interaction. So we have an amazing event with Dr. Jason Smithson coming up in April of 2024. Just text Smithson to 215-543-6454. Text Smithson to 215-543-6454 to come and do the 3 F's in Philadelphia: food, fun, and friends. I'm ready for my first guest. My team is ready to bring them to the Talking Nachos stage. It is the new grad. Rad is retired age dentist, my amazing friend, coach, sponsor, confidant, Dr. Alan Stern. Dr. Alan Stern, you are a celebrity inside of Dental Nachos, but just in case someone doesn't know you, or we do, I don't know if anyone knows this, we get like 800 to 1,000 new members in the group every month. So tell our audience what you do to help dentists cry less inside.
Well, I've been there. I've done that. Wherever you are, I've been there. The ups, the downs, the plain vanillas. I've been there. For 42 years, I was there. Made all the mistakes, did a lot of things right, straightened my life out really nicely, and cracked the code for success. So what I want to do is, like Paul said, make you feel not alone, make you laugh a little bit, make you put things into perspective, because you have a good career and you can make it even better. And there are a few things we can do for that. We can get into that in a little more detail as we move along. But I will help you vision your practice and shape your life so that you have that inalienable American right, the pursuit of happiness. That's what it's all about, Paul, isn't it?
I love that, Alan. You are an amazing, you're a Renaissance man, I have to say. You know, you like a lot of things. One of them is you love real coffee. I have to make a brewed coffee. I promise you I will do that. But you do a virtual cup of coffee. Before we get into the next thing, I want to thank you for helping so many Dental Nachos members at no cost to them. You are a sponsor of a group. People can text Stronger to 215-543-6454. But you are a lifeline to a lot of dentists with this virtual cup of coffee. I know there's no cost to it. I know you jump on Zoom with them, but and you've been getting a lot of great, and you deserve these accolades. Dentists aren't always good with compliments, but I'm going to compliment you. You've been getting people posting, Alan has helped me so much with this virtual cup of coffee. So before we get into your coaching, what is that virtual cup of coffee? What do you do with these dentists? What happens?
I want to listen. You know, in what I do, as in dentistry, these are my most important instruments. So I will be glad to sit down with anybody from the Nacho community. 30 to 45 minutes, I will sit there over Zoom and I will listen to you, and I will help you reflect on an issue that might be on your mind and maybe open your eyes. Paul, we all have blind spots.
Yeah.
You didn't get to be you alone. I didn't get to be me alone. We have mentors, we have coaches, we have advisors. And that's the role I want to play for as many people as possible.
I absolutely love that. One, Dr. Christian Mullen, who's an amazing new dentist, who was at Boost Camp with us, Alan, who has a practice. You know, he was a high-level soccer player, and he said, you know, this is a basketball. You can't watch yourself play the game of soccer. You need a coach. And you cannot watch yourself play the game of dentisting basketball. And one of the things my coaches taught me early, Alan, is make a list for what you want to keep doing, start doing, and stop doing. Coaching is not all about what you're doing wrong. Sometimes it's doubling down on what you're doing right. But you don't know that unless someone comes from outside of your box. So you've created this better, richer, stronger community. What was your motivation for creating it? And what happens inside this community?
My motivation is very simple. That dentists, there is pain in dentistry. You know, that the crying inside thing that you talk about all the time. And you know what? If we take it more seriously, depression and, God forbid, suicide happen in our profession much more than, well, one is too many. One depressed dentist is too many.
Yeah.
So what happens inside our community is several things. Number one, in my group coaching community called On the Ride, we sit together for twice a month for an hour, and we discuss issues that's on the mind on our participants, or of something that's on my mind that I want them to be aware of. So that is the most amazing thing, when a group of dentists gets together in a safe space, in a moderated climate. We can talk about things in raw honesty. And you know what? The group comes up with more answers than I do. When we coach individually, my agenda is not to tell dentists what to do. They know what they want out of life. So my job is to reflect it back to them and show them the way to get their happiness.
I love that. I mean, I was just thinking as you're talking, this is one of my newer quotes. It's okay if living your dream makes you want to scream. And I'll explain. I'm a parent. I always want to be a parent. I actually tell my children I like it more than I ever thought. And I'm so lucky to be a parent. And we also have fights in the morning about putting on jackets. And we also have fights in the morning about why didn't you put this out the night before? And I wish to go back to my parents and apologize, because I totally get why they would fly off the handle that my backpack wasn't ready. So with dentistry, Alan, it's okay. You know, one of the things that's problem is the outside world is saying to dentists, aren't you happy? You're a dentist. This was your dream. You're owning a practice. You're an associate. But what you talk with these dentists is there's another side to that. And living your dream can cause screams. Give us an example or even a story or anything that's to make people feel more okay out there. Because I would say it's okay not to feel okay. So if you're an associate dentist and you're a practice owner and the whole world's saying you're rich and you have a practice and you should be happy, and you go home at night and say, I have the weight of the world inside of my head. Tell us a little more about that.
All right. First of all, don't shoot on anybody, Paul. You shouldn't shoot on people, and don't shoot on yourself. That's number one, my good friend. Number two, your dream and your interpretation of dentistry is yours. You don't want to be me. You don't want to be Paul Goodman. You don't want to be Frank Spear. You want to be the best version of you. What is that? How can you make dentistry an expression of your greatness and a pursuer of your happiness? You don't have to be AACD accredited. You don't have to be a Pankey alumnus. You could work in an FQHC. You could work rural. You could work urban, PPO, fee for service, any of the alphabet soup you think of. But it has to be consistent with who you are. So when we connect with our core values, I connected with my core values relatively late in life. And I found my why in dentistry. That's the key. When I found my why, all of a sudden, everything else went away. I was happy practicing. And you know what? When that happened, the money flowed. Money is not the be all end all. Money is the reward for being the best version of you.
And I want to share, money doesn't solve morale issues. I mean, Gary Vee says he has people whose companies did $5 million. They were happy. They do $15 million. They're literally miserable every day. So I think it's really important to be like, well, I want to share our community. Alan, I want to thank you for being a sponsor, but even more important, thank you for being my friend and my kind annoyer and the jokester that you are. People can text Stronger to 215-543-6454 to learn more about your virtual coffees, your on the rides and coaching program. But if they just want to go to a website or a Facebook group, where could they go to now to find out about you?
Go to my Facebook group, Better, Richer, Stronger. That's the best. May I talk about my workshop?
Sure.
All right. So I've got 2 workshops coming up. They are, and it's kind of what we did together at Nachos, 5 decisions I wish I had never made.
I love that.
One decision that changed my life forever. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. I guarantee you a lot of jokes, and I guarantee you a lot of serious things. And it's at a no-brainer price, absolute no-brainer. And for people who do the $47 to join this workshop, we will also give you a 2-month membership on the ride.
That's a great
option to get some private coaching, an hour private coaching at a no-brainer price as well.
And I want to tell my community, you are worth a $47 investment into finding out how to cry less inside each day, how to live the best version of you. I love that. Alan, and you know what? The best version of your dental life could look wildly different than when you were a second-year dental student. Maybe you thought you'd own 4 practices, but you're thrilled owning 1. Maybe you thought that you were going to start a practice, but you're happy with your associate position. So reach out to Alan to live your best dentisting life. Truly appreciate you, Alan. You did it. We stayed in our time frame too. Go have a donut while you plank to reward yourself.
All right. We'll see you, Paul. Thanks you so
Alan.
much for believing in me.
Thanks. Love what you're doing. Thanks. So as you can see on Talking Nachos, we bring you resources. This community has resources to help you treatment plan your career for happiness, not the dentist down the street, not your dental school classmate, you. I'm ready for my next amazing guest when they come up. So there's kind of a dream that I had as a child. Well, that was to play professional basketball in the NBA. That failed. And my second dream was I wish my favorite foods had less calories, but that also does not work. But what you do is so amazing because you help dentists make more money without working more. It's your first time here. So I want to introduce yourself, who you are, who you work with, and what you do to help dentists.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. This is my first time on Talking Nachos. Thrilled to be here and to follow Alan. What an amazing first guest you had. So thank you. So I'm Anna Duhamel. I am the CEO of PPO Profits. As you mentioned, we help you get the highest possible fees, which gets money to your bottom line. And here's the kicker, with doing zero extra dentistry. So it's
almost as good as calories out of your food. And you know, your founder, Vivek Keenra, who is still totally involved with the company, totally work with him. I would like to make his success story mainly about me, because we sat in 2018 in Chicago, and we were sitting after my lecture, I think watching an Eagles game. And I said, Vivek, just do this. I said, stop doing everything else and do PPO Profits. I will help you. And I am so proud to have been a sponsor with him on this journey and continue with you, because we have changed dentists' lives. We have dentists like Dr. Tim Pruitt. Dr. Tim Pruitt, I'd like to tell this story. So dentists, they don't make decisions quickly. I don't know if you've ever met them, okay? So I'm in Philadelphia on my couch. I'll never forget this, like probably 2018, 19, and Tim saying, should I use PPO Profits? Are they good? Are they not good? Blah, blah. It's 11 p.m. for me. I'm writing back and I said, just do this demo, Tim. Just see what it's like. Just watch their webinar. And he credits to being one of the best decisions he's ever made. The ROI for him, he said, is in the 3,000%. Because just in case people don't know, let's talk about a prophy. Someone's doing prophies every day. You're in this opportunity. The dental insurance is paying $97. When you work with PPO Profits, what do they do to those prophy fees?
Absolutely. So, and in fact, we negotiate all your fees with the insurance companies, but we do more than that. We also optimize your insurance, who you're in network with and out of network with. And the results are amazing. For example, I was with three doctors yesterday, and we were looking at, we hadn't even talked to them before. We were looking at, we pulled up an average of what we're able to negotiate in the very recent past. So we had our averages for their state. And live, we said, all right, for this procedure, what do you get from this insurance company? And we had average results. We did about 3 or 5 different tests. And I was with our director of operations. And there was one where she's like, wow, you know what? That's actually a pretty decent fee the doctor was already getting. That was the lowest increase that we would have seen was less than 20%. It was, or more than 20%. And to us, that was disappointing. We saw things between 20% and over 100% more by simply negotiating with the insurance.
I mean, you guys are doing the work of the Lord G.V. Black. That is the famous dentist, because dentistry is full contact arts and crafts on people that don't want to be there. That's how I describe it, right? Has anyone ever want to be at the dentist? No. Do they want to pay for it? Also no. It's not easy to do our work. So when you're handcrafting and doing these things, you know, I just want to reinforce taking a prophy from $97 to $102 and doing 2,000 prophies a year, that's $10,000. Then you're looking at 10 years, that's $100,000 without doing any extra work. And what I share with Vivek and my audience and you is, it's a no-brainer to explore this, because nothing bad happens. If they work with you and you get them better fees, they make more money forever. And if for some reason someone explores it and they're already getting the best fees, well, they're the luckiest of all, because that means they haven't been missing out for years. So I know how to motivate my audience. Hey, dentist, are you missing out on money for doing absolutely nothing? PPO Profits uncovers that. And, you know, as we talk a little bit and as, you know, get to know us as a community, the process, right? You guys have a webinar. We're going to share that. I think Vivek is genius. I go on record for doing these webinars. I was on one last week, being medium funny as usual. So text profit to 215-543-6454 to watch these webinars. But whether it's the office manager, the COO, the dentist spouse, the dentist, when they go on these webinars, what are they going to learn?
When they go on the webinars, they're going to learn what the process is, and they're going to see what the results are that we've been able to accomplish. You're going to see that this is, to your point, it's an absolute no-brainer, the before and after stories that happen. And they'll also see what the fee schedule is, and they'll learn the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, and we want to be crystal clear and upfront with what you're going to expect, and that's critical in this process. Vivek always says, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that the results are insanely good. The bad and the ugly is that, you know what, this process can take some time and it can be frustrating. And we want people to know that while it's frustrating sometimes and it's time consuming, we are going to be right there with them as their partner and their expert to make sure to navigate this with them in the best possible way to get them the highest possible fees. And then, of course, we'll show them how to sign up afterwards.
I absolutely love it. What you guys charge for this is just incredibly reasonable. If anybody wants me to come and be a consultant, now here's my, you should charge more. So dentist, get this at the price now. You transform people's lives. Text profit to 215-543-6454. And is there anything I missed that you wanted to share? I love the operatory that you're in there. Anything about Banco PPO profits? Your favorite nacho topping before we wrap up?
Sure. I just want everybody to know that it's been all out there that the owners of Banco Dental acquired PPO Profits. I'm the new CEO, and I work very closely with Vivek. He's still around. He's doing all the webinars. And I just want people to know that it's the exact same people. It operates as a standalone company. It's not going to be part of Banco. It's going to be always operating as a standalone company. And we're just super excited to be here. And yeah, thank you. I'm actually at our headquarters in Pittston in one of our kids' rooms. And I just thought this was a fun room podcast from. So
I agree with you. Well, thank you for joining us as a sponsor. So looking forward to this relationship.
You too. Appreciate you.
So as you guys can see, we'll bring Smithson up again. We do things on Facebook. You learn how to cry less inside, make more money without doing any extra work. Please text Smithson to 215-543-6454. Come to Philadelphia for the 3 C's. I got them all. Cheesesteaks, camaraderie, and CE. The director of our business development and growth, Brandon Hill, has a whole cheesesteak blog, which we'll put in the chat here. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day.